Disclaimer time, Touhou belongs to Zune. Any pictures, videos, or music here belong to their respective owners. So let's get this started. From spreading poison to old allegiance, and then there were none. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Interesting Touhou Facts, the series where I talk about facts from Touhou that I find either fun, unusual, or simply interesting. So without further ado, let's begin the Interesting Touhou Facts number 25. Number 5. So in Legacy, you might recall Sagumi, the Lunarian/goddess that was very quiet due to her abilities. Aside from being silent in the beginning, it seems that our moon, or should I say Earth Rabbit now, served under Sagumi. In Legacy, once you meet Sagumi, Raisin refers to her as Lady Sagumi or Sagumi Sama, and was willing to obey any order she gave. While it's not something hard to believe given Raisin used to live there, it was different reading the dialogue as compared to the other girls, since Reimu, Marissa, and Sane didn't know who Sagumi was until the incident. What I'd like to see in the future would be Sagumi and Eren meeting. It looks like Sagumi viewed Eren quite highly since she referred to her as Lady Yagokoro. I think anyway. Number 4. For many, you might have seen Aya first in Phantasmagoria: A Flower Review, since that was the first game she was featured. While Phantasmagoria was her first game, it wasn't her first appearance in the series. Aya is the first character in Touhou to originally appear in an art book, then later in a game. I'm sure you guys can probably guess which work it was, but for those who didn't, it was Bohemian. It wouldn't be a terrible mistake if you guessed Aya first showed up in Phantasmagoria, since Bohemian came out in August 11th, 2005, and Phantasmagoria in August 14th, 2005. Yeah, that 3-day gap is something else, alright. While I would have preferred for Bohemian to come out with Phantasmagoria just so it lined up perfectly, it wasn't the worst thing, since if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be able to make this fact. Number 3. Now you may recall that in one of my previous videos, I mentioned how the Devil's Contract and how humans from the village were not allowed to be attacked. Well, someone was gonna break that rule in an extreme way. So medicine, as you know, is very poisonous, as you can tell in episode 18. Now imagine that poison all over the village. Yeah, not good. Medicine once tried to spread poison across the village. Tried, meaning she didn't succeed. In Perfect Memento, a villager quotes, "The other day, this small yokai dropped by the village, but immediately ran away. Was that really a yokai? What real reason would medicine want to come to the village? Especially if her relationship level with them is terrible." AQ notes she may return to spread a poisonous fog over the village. So let's hope she doesn't do so, or it'll end up real bad for the humans there. Number 2. When it comes to the PC98 canon, we don't get much indication that those events even happened during the Windows canon. At times, it feels like it's been swept under the rug. Fortunately, we have someone from those times, and even better, referencing them as well, and I'm not talking about Alice. In Phantasmagoria once more, Yuka makes references to the previous meeting back in Lotus Land story. She describes Marissa as growing up quite a bit and telling Reimu that she's still being a poor Miko. Also, during her scenario, she tells Reimu that she's talking about the 60-year cycle and not the battle during the PC98. Glad to see some things don't ever change. Now I'm sure I ain't the only one that will want more PC98 references. No, I'd rather bring the cast from the PC98 instead, as that would make things much more interesting. Number 1. Let me play this song for ya. I'm sure all of you guys know which song this is, but if you didn't, it's You and Owen Was Her, Flandre's theme. I can't be the only one to think that this song is one of the, if not the most recognizable song in Touhou from both fans and non-fans. And in this fact, I want to talk a little bit about it. Her theme and her second to last spell card, Secret Barrage, and Then Will There Be None, are references to another Agatha Christie's novel, And Then There Were None. In the origins of this incident, the spouse of the person who sent out invitations had the initial You and Owen. As You and Owen is unknown, example an unknown person, the characters in the story were killed by someone unknown. Sounds like a little ninja came into the novel. Also, Flandre doesn't know what killing means, since she hasn't really interacted with anyone. So in a sense, it could be considered cruel or innocent, depending on how you're looking at it. I'm going with a let's not be near her option. Another thing you and Owen relates to Flandre is that both are unknown to majority of the world. So that's why Zune used you and Owen for Flandre. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty cool origin story to one of the most known Touhou songs. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Which facts were your favorite? How bad do you think it would have been if medicine poisoned the village? Or which of the PC98 characters would you like to see? And would you want to be near Flandre, knowing that she might kill you and not even know she did so? Either way, this is Magi and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.